Has everybody voted for their weeks?
9:28, okay.
Lauren went to.
I'm just about to get at it, squishies.
Okay.
Oh, it's only 9:29.
Okay, I'll let you know.
That's what I apologize.
I mean, is there a
I was looking at it. Huh? Yeah,
Oh.
it does. It was, I was like, what the heck? All right. Good morning, everybody. I'm Joan McDonald. I am the chair of the New York State Bridge Authority. Welcome to our first meeting for 2026. Today is Thursday, January 15th. I will call the roll to ensure we have a quorum. The meeting has been publicly noticed pursuant to New York State Open Meetings and Public Officers Law. Maria Bruni. Present. Lanny Gilbert.
Present.
Alex Berardi.
Present.
Roger. What's your last name?
Thanks.
Roger Higgins. And Freddie Garcia.
Yes.
All right, and I, Joan McDonald, am also present. We have the full quorum. Do I have a motion to open the meeting?
So moved.
Thank you, Lanny. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Freddie. All in favor? Aye. All right. First item on the agenda is public comment. Do we have any public comments, Chris?
Not today.
All right. Our second item is Community Appreciation for Employee Recognition Awards. So we have 3 awardees here today. First up is Mackenzie Wakely. Mackenzie, come on up. Welcome. Thank you. The New York State Bridge Authority proudly presents this award to Mackenzie Wakely for your remarkable compassion and composure while assisting a person experiencing crisis on the Mid-Hudson Bridge sidewalk on November 30th, 2025, which was right after Thanksgiving. So thank you. Your quick judgment and ability to engage with calm, compassionate support directly contributed to ensuring the individual's safety. By acting decisively and offering reassurance during a critical moment, you help prevent potential harm, exemplifying the Bridge Authority's core values of empathy, integrity, and commitment to the community. Thank you for your dedication, kindness, and commitment to creating a safe, supportive community. Your positive impact is truly appreciated. Danielle, I assume that's our Danielle. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Next up is Dawn Dragos. Dawn, come on up.
Right.
Oh. So, similar to your colleague, the New York State Bridge Authority presents this award to Dawn Dragos in honor of your immediate response to a person experiencing a crisis on the sidewalk of the Mid-Hudson Bridge and your outstanding support of a fellow employee during a challenging situation. That really, shows the great teamwork that you all have, and Danielle, that you have, instilled in your team. By quickly securing the scene and maintaining a calm, controlled environment, you ensure the safety and well-being of both the individual and your fellow employees. Your thoughtful actions help prevent further risk and provided reassurance during a tense situation, demonstrating professionalism, teamwork, and a deep commitment to the values of the Bridge Authority. Thank you for stepping in with confidence, empathy, and care when it mattered most. Your actions made a meaningful difference, and the Bridge Authority is proud to recognize your exceptional service. Thank you so much. Thank you, Danielle. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Joe, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
And next up is Whitney Morris. Whitney, come on up, please. Good morning. How are you? The New York State Bridge Authority proudly presents this award to Whitney Morris in recognition of your extraordinary empathy, calm presence, and quick action while assisting a person experiencing a crisis on the sidewalk of the Mid-Hudson Bridge on December 8th, 2025. Your prompt action to pause, engage with care, and ensure the individual's safety reflects the highest standards of the Bridge Authority's values. Your professionalism and humanity not only supported someone in need, but also sets a powerful example of what it means to lead with kindness and empathy. Thank you for demonstrating courage, compassion, and a commitment to the well-being of members of our community. Your actions made a meaningful difference, and we are grateful to have you as part of our team. From Danielle, and thank you from the board. Thank you. Thank you. And I just want to, before these three can leave, you're welcome to stay, but you're also welcome to leave. But before they leave, I really want to thank you because during the holiday season.
Thank you.
Thank you. And you guys, thank you to Danielle. Okay. Next up is our adoption of our monthly regular meeting minutes from December 2nd, 2025. Do any of the board members have questions or comments regarding the meeting minutes? Do I have a motion to approve and adopt?
So moved.
Thank you, Roger. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Lanny. I'll call the vote. Maria Bruni.
Aye.
Lanny Gilbert.
Aye.
Alex Ferrari.
Abstain wasn't present.
Okay. Roger Higgins.
Aye.
and Freddie Garcia.
Aye.
And I vote in the affirmative. The meeting minutes are approved and adopted. Next, Minoshka, I'll turn it over to you for your report to the board.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and welcome everyone, and Happy New Year to all of us. I start with employee engagement and recognition. We had a wreath decorating contest where, as part of the holiday engagement initiatives, we had a competition across all the campuses in the agency. And honestly, our staff is, extremely creative, and the effort that they demonstrated was fantastic. And we appreciate for you guys to participate in helping us judge this competition. I know that it was very difficult. I'm going to announce the winners for those that are watching the board. So congratulations to the MHP maintenance group. They were the number one wreath selected. Number two was the Newberg Beacon maintenance. And number three was the command center administrator. So they look fantastic, and thank you to all for participating. We also had a secret breach buddy program where staff was provided with cards and envelopes to send anonymous notes and affirmation to colleagues from their secret breach buddy. This initiative promoted positive recognition and peer appreciation across the organization. And it was wonderful to see our staff recognize one another and the good work that they do across the year. So that was fantastic initiative. In terms of communication, we decided to relaunch the Tollgram, an internal communication initiative that was used many years ago to highlight agency activities and staff contribution. So when we brought it back, this new publication update from across the authority, spotlights our teams, operational highlights, and historical content. And we hope it will serve as a platform to promote engagement, recognition, and organizational pride among employees. In terms of safety and emergency preparedness, we are working on doing training for NISPA's Emergency Action Plan. These are being conducted in the Mid-Hudson and Newberg Beacon campuses. And this training provides employees with an overview of authorities' emergency management operation plan and continuity of operations, outlining roles, responsibilities, and required actions before, during, and after major emergency events. This initiative enhances organizational preparedness to maintain safety, protect essential functions, and support a rapid coordinated response to any potential disruption. In terms of staffing, our engineering department and maintenance department has filled in several appointments. We have 2 positions within the engineering department. One was the manager of maintenance and our maintenance engineer. So for manager of maintenance, we're hiring Seth Darley, who brings more than 15 years of experience in civil and bridge engineering, including extensive work on NISPA bridges involving inspections and structural rehabilitation projects. For the maintenance position, we have our own Greg Hill, who has served the agency for over 30 years, and he was most recently our foreman at the Newberg Beacon Bridge. This is great because it allows us to provide continuity and maintain institutional knowledge in this role. In terms of leadership, now that Greg is going to be doing the manager of maintenance position, John McGrath, that used to be our deputy, one of our deputy foremen, has assumed the role of foreman for the Newberg Beacon. Mr. McGrath has been with the authority for over 20 years, including more than a decade as an assistant foreman. So we hope that you join us in congratulating Seth, Greg, and John on their new roles, and we wish them continued success. Union negotiations continue with the current collective bargaining agreement scheduled to expire in March. We started the preliminary planning for union negotiations. Department directors have met with Vince Toomey, the counsel who will oversee the negotiation process. SIPA was again here this year, talking to our employees, and we have enacted the campaign that we've been doing for the past years. And this year we were able to, employees were able to pledge $2,800 in contributions to benefit organizations at the local, national, and international level. I was invited this month to go to La Voz, a Spanish language program broadcast on Radio Kingston. The discussion focused on the governor's recent trip to the Dominican Republic and the authorities' collaboration with the Dominican engineering counterparts. In terms of interagency collaborations, our planning continues for a virtual summit with fellow state agencies focused on the topic of secondhand trauma. Approximately 28 of our state agencies have partnered with us, and we are very excited. They're coming as not only as partners, but also as contributors, as panelists and speakers. The summit is scheduled on March 5th, and will provide an opportunity for interagency dialogue and shared learning. We look forward to these conversations with our colleagues from around the state. Easy Pass marketing partnerships with Indian Falls. We work with the student Afan Wahid through the college's client design lab to design mailing inserts for Toast by Mail customers. And it was fantastic. This kid did an amazing job, and we congratulate him and the tolling department on this initiative. Walkway partners, we met with our neighbors at the walkway over the Hudson, as we do regularly, quarterly, to check in on our operations and what is coming for them in terms of operational and programmatic activities, as well as the activities that NISBA has programmed for the bridge during the season. Pattern for Progress, our Deputy Executive Director and Public Information Officer attended the Hudson Valley Pattern for Progress across the Isle event on December 4th, which served after organizational annual meeting. The event included discussions on housing, infrastructure funding, and legislative impacts on municipality, as well as the leadership transitions that they're going through. Their old president, Adam Bosch, we bid farewell. He's moving on into other organizations. In terms of infrastructure, safety, and capital planning, our PM protection, we send our recommendations to the National Transportation Safety Board, and the authorities continue to evaluate and implement measures to enhance bridge and pier protection, including risk reduction planning and increased interagency coordination. One such initiative is the recently issued request for proposal for a system-wide emergency bridge closure system, with proposals due later this month. In the same light, the Bear Mountain Bridge deck replacement project proposals have been extended to January 28th, and this extension was intended to provide additional time to contractors to prepare accurate and competitive submissions. We look forward to this RFP. In terms of traveling, I approve the travel of Jeff Weiss, our Director of Tolling, to go to the annual meeting of the International Bridge, Tunnel, and Turnpike Association, ABTTA, in Florida. Several contracts will be coming in front of the board by our engineering department. And in terms of finance, this month we're presenting 2 updates, one for November and another for December. Remember that we did our December meeting was too early and we didn't have the information yet.
Yeah.
So we decided to provide it now, but in terms of traffic in November, in total 5.4 million vehicles, approximately 2.2% higher than November of 2024. This was comprised of 90% Easy Pass vehicles. This is great. We've been working very hard to increase those numbers. And in terms of traffic composition, Approximately 75% are commercial vehicles, and that's great news to NISBA. In terms of December also, this time the traffic went down a little bit by 1.69% as compared to December of 24. We had approximately 5.1 million vehicle crossings, and we had of that 89% travel the bridge through Easy Pass. And the traffic consisted even higher, almost 8% commercial vehicles. In terms of revenue, in the month of October, we had $7.5 million as compared to 7.6 in October of 2024, approximately 0.8% decrease. The composition of this revenue was 90% Easy Pass, 5% tolls by mail, 4% fines and fees, and 1% overweight fees. In terms of the month of November, we had approximately 6.5 million, 92% Easy Pass, and 8% tolls by mail. And in terms of activity report, I don't have anything to report to the board. So thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Minosa. Questions from any of the board members? Comments? All right, thank you very much. Next up, we will go through our business items. We have no items under administration. Engineering and maintenance, Eric.
Good morning, everyone. There are a few procurement items that I'm gonna go through. The first one up is bridge inspection. Each year we assign consultants to do biennial inspections on our bridges. And as part of that, they have to submit a proposal of how much the work will cost. So for the Mid-Hudson Bridge, that was assigned to Attain Engineering, and the proposal for their inspection was $189,444. The next one up was Rip Van Winkle, that was assigned to Majeski and Masters, and the proposal for the inspection was $192,653. The next one assigned was Bear Mountain Bridge, that was assigned to CDM Smith, and that was $219,922. We reviewed these proposals and found that they were reasonable, and all combined for these three biennial inspections, it's $622, and we're putting this to the board for approval so that we could get the required inspections for 2026 ongoing, and that ensures that our facilities are properly inspected and remain safe conditions once we find the findings from the inspections we act on those. I'm putting this to the board for approval.
Questions, comments from the board?
I think it's $602,022.
Yeah, always. Thank you.
Thank you, Lanny. Do I have a motion to approve and adopt?
So moved.
Thank you, Roger. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Alex. I'll call the vote. Maria Bruni. Aye. Lanny Gilbert.
Aye.
Alex Berardi.
Aye.
Roger Higgins.
Aye.
Freddie Garcia.
Aye.
And I vote in the affirmative. The resolution is approved and adopted. Next, Eric.
Next up is this painting design for our bridges. So we do have a statewide painting design contract with GPI, and we request from them two proposals to develop the paint projects, one for the Rip Van Winkle Bridge and one for the Mid-Hudson Bridge. The proposal for the Rip Van Winkle Bridge is a cost not to exceed $640,000, and the proposal for the Mid-Hudson Bridge is a cost not to exceed $565,000. You will see in the proposal, those include some contingencies for equipment rental. In the past, we've always tried to use our equipment, which is the UBIU, the bucket trucks. But this year, our equipment is gonna be in heavy rotation. So we put in there a proposal upfront rather than trying to, if it's been used later on in the year. It's best for us to have this contingency upfront. So I'm putting that to both of those proposals combined for the design of the paint projects, Rip Van Winkle and Mid Hudson. It's $1,205,000. And I'm putting that to the board for approval so we could get these projects initiated and be able to, from that, once the bridges are painted or blasted, we are able to identify where repairs would be required. So as part of maintenance projects, painting is an essential function, and we're looking to the board for approval to get these projects awarded.
Questions, comments? Okay, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Roger. Second.
Second.
Thank you, Freddie. I'll call the vote. Maria Bruni,
Aye.
Lanny Gilbert,
Aye.
Alex Berardi,
Aye.
Roger Higgins,
Aye.
Freddie Garcia.
Aye.
And I vote in the affirmative. The resolution is approved and adopted. Next up, Eric.
The next, as part of our bridge inspections, we identify issues on bridges that we immediately try to get fixed so we could maintain on the bridges in a safe condition. One such project that was identified was what we call a frozen pin on the Rip Van Winkle. That element of the structure is not working as intended. So we've solicited for a design group to give us the repairs. As part of that, we put out a solicitation for bids. We received 2 bids. And as part of those bids, we have a matrix. We review the technical proposals, we review the cost proposals, and we have a weighting scale that we review and assign to each of these proposals. The top rank proposer was Popley Design Group, and we're putting at a cost not to exceed $525,000. And we're putting this to the board for approval, so that we could get the necessary design work completed. And following up with that would be a construction proposal once the design work has been completed. So we're putting this to the board again for approval, so we could initiate this design contract.
Questions, comments from the board? Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Roger. Second.
Second.
Thanks, Lanny. I'll call the vote. Maria Bruni,
Aye.
Lanny Gilbert,
Aye.
Alex Berardi.
Aye.
Roger Higgins.
Aye.
Freddie Garcia.
Aye.
And I vote in the affirmative. The resolution is approved and adopted.
Thank you. And again, the next item up is general consultant support. In addition to performing maintenance bridge inspections, Majeski and Masters does that for us. But in addition to bridge inspection work, they provide general consulting work, and their general consulting work assists the engineering group with our planning, our program reviews, and technical reviews of other consultants. And a major part of that too is they help us in emergency design. So what we're looking to add to their maintenance inspection program is an approval for $250,000 to assist us with those general consulting work. And it adds to their contract for a 1-year extension. So once this $250,000 is added to their general consultant work, it helps us in the engineering department maintain efficient support, and we're able to get any emergency design work done. So we're putting this to the board for approval for a cost not to exceed $250,000.
Questions, comments? Okay, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Roger. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Alex. I'll call the vote. Maria Bruni,
Aye.
Lanny Gilbert,
Aye.
Alex Berardi,
Aye.
Roger Higgins, and Freddie Garcia.
Aye.
And I vote in the affirmative. The resolution's approved and adopted.
Next item up is the purchase of a fleet equipment. As part of our fleet management, we review our equipment to make sure they're still reliable, still safe for operations. And we identified one vehicle, which is a 2016 Ford Transit van, which has over 100,000 miles. And we've identified that for replacement as part of our fleet management operations. So in commitment to our greenhouse gas emissions, once we're in the position to replace any fleet vehicles, we always first go for electric vehicles. So we put out using the OGS bid process. We put that out for proposal for replacement of a Ford Transit van EV. We received 3 proposals. Once we reviewed the proposals, we realized that one of the vendors did not meet the full specifications of what we were requesting. So we disqualified that vendor. So of the 2 remaining vendors, we would like to award a contract to the lowest of the bidders, which is Nielsen Autos, at a cost at $62,063. And we're putting that to the board for approval so we could purchase that electric vehicle to meet our gas emissions commitment and to maintain a reliable fleet.
All right. Questions, comments?
I hope that includes the mats in the car.
What's the weather tech? Oh, we'll come to you for the weather tech.
All right, do I have a motion to approve? Thank you, Roger. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Freddie. I'll call the vote. Maria Bruni,
Aye.
Lanny Gilbert,
Aye.
Alex Berardi,
Aye.
Roger Higgins,
Aye.
Freddie Garcia,
Aye.
and I vote in the affirmative. The resolution is approved and adopted.
The next 2 items up are for informational purposes. The 4th quarter review for 2025 accident reviews, accident report. The 4th quarter, we had 73 accidents, and the main purpose of this review is to see if we could identify any patterns of accidents that are related to roadway surface conditions or any design features that can be modified. The report shows that most of our accident does occur at the Mid-Hudson eastbound, and generally that's in the afternoons when we have a lane shift in the peak direction. And just based on the description of each of those accidents, we determine that none of it is really related to the roadway conditions. It's really a matter of driver behavior, frustration, poor judgment, and maybe in some cases distracted shadow. But most of the accidents are frustration and just poor judgment.
Yep.
And we're just reporting that here. And we do a comparison in the same quarter just to make sure all the weather conditions are the same. And 73 is consistent with that 4th quarter for the last 4 years. It didn't really go up or down. So I'm just putting that as a report out there. The next reporting is the jobs in progress. The Bear Mountain Bridge, those bids are due. We do have a lot of interest in the bids, and the contractors and their organizations actually have asked for an extension. Initially, it was January, it was next week, but they've asked, we're responding to several questions. There's certainly a lot of interest in the project, and the contractors, while it's competitive, they also want to give us the best prices that they can. And so we're all affording them the opportunity for them to give us the best prices. Once we give they ask for extension of time and we offer it to them, it kind of reduces their risk assessments. The prices coming with less risk because they're fully understand and they have time to review the project in a whole. So I think it was to our benefit to extend the contract due date. The Mid-Hudson Bridge East Approach, that project is ongoing. You've not seen too much work on the top side yet. They're preparing for that major work in the spring. We're maintaining the same directional number of traffics in the peak directions. There might be the need for some driver adjustment, but we're not reducing the number of lanes based on peak travel. The major part of work that they've accomplished so far, they've done what we call a Class A containment of the steel arch over the railroad, because they're going to be performing painting. So that's fully enclosed, and they're going to start blasting and getting the done over there.
Which railroad? did you-
Metro North on the east side.
Okay.
There's a steel arch section, but that's fully contained. We're coordinating with Metro North. They've sent
Got it.
out flyers and good spirits with them. And the next item up is, we have Hudson Valley Bridge Contractors. They continue to provide support for us. They're currently doing some field work at the Rip Van Winkle Bridge, but they are also the ones on board for 2026, and we're looking forward to working with them based on the findings of the upcoming annual inspection. That ends my engineering report for today.
We need a vote on that one, correct?
No.
On
Yeah,
that's-
yeah, vote on it.
That's in progress.
Yeah, motion.
Yes, we need a vote.
Second.
Thank you. I'll call the vote. Maria Bruni.
Aye.
Lanny Gilbert. The second one, Freddie. Yep.
Yeah.
Alex Berardi.
Aye.
Roger Higgins. Freddie Garcia.
Aye.
And I vote in the affirmative. The resolution approved and adopted. Thank you, Eric. Next up, financial, Brian.
Morning, thank you. So this month we have effectively two reports. It's one resolution because we missed the month associated, skipping the month of November. In the month of December, there were 12 investments, all of a routine nature. You'll notice that the yields have dropped again as a result of prevailing market rates. The balance in the maintenance reserve fund at the end of December was 149,256,000 available to support the capital program. There was cash in the debt service fund because the investments in there all matured at December 31 and the bond payment occurs on January 1st. So above and beyond that, nothing really too unusual to note. We did have a little bit of a bump up in interest income, and again, it really relates to the timing of investments and how things flow through. Increased 0.06% in terms of yields. Through November, we still were making $591,000 a month in interest or investment income. As far as November, there were 9 investments, again, all routine. You'll notice the yields are in general a little bit higher than what they were, or than what they were in December. As of the end of November, there was 148.4 million available for the capital program, and yields back October 1 month, they were 3.8, which was a decline from the month before, as the market was expecting to see rates cut at the Fed.
Okay. Questions, comments? Do I have a motion to approve and adopt?
So.
Thank you, Roger. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Maria. I'll call the vote. Maria Bruni.
Aye.
Lanny Gilbert.
Aye.
Alex Berardi.
Aye.
Roger Higgins.
Aye.
Freddie Garcia.
Aye.
And I vote in the affirmative. The resolution's approved and adopted.
Public Authorities Law, Section 2975, cost recovery costs. The Division of Budget is powered by the to specific section of public authorities law to allocate expenses for central government expenses to the various public authorities who receive some benefit from them, utilizing them. Every year, we've received the same amount since 2014, which is 369,000, and this year's no exception, so it's pretty straightforward.
No inflation there.
No inflation in this.
Or backup. I love that there's no backup, but there's no increase.
Right, that's right, that's right. Do I have a motion to approve and adopt?
So,
Thank you, Roger. Second.
Thank you.
Thank you, Freddie. I'll call the vote. Maria Bruni.
Aye.
Lanny Gilbert.
Aye.
Alex Berardi. Roger Higgins.
Aye.
Freddie Garcia.
Aye.
And I vote in the affirmative. The resolution's approved and adopted.
okay, last up is the other part, the legacy part of the Accident Review Committee report for Q4 2025. It's expands a little bit on some of what Eric had presented before. Again, there were 73 accidents on authority facilities in the fourth quarter, 74 accidents for the previous year. Considering traffic overall increased in the quarter, it's good. We went down by one. Of the 73 accidents, there were 3 accidents involving authority vehicles, none with injuries. Details are reflected in the memo. Overall, for the year, we had a total number of accidents of 256. This was lower than last year of 263. Again, given that we have, obviously the highest year of traffic we've had in the authority's history, that's pretty good. And to compare back to the last full year when we had staff toll collection, we had 430 accidents that year. So yes, it's a considerable reduction. We do a quick calculation to go and compute how many crossings it takes before we have an accident. And that number rose this year to 255,300 crossings for a single accident. A little bit higher than last year, again, because both fewer accidents and higher traffic. All I have. Very much.
Thank
You
you.
know, for instance, we get more congested, the opportunity for an accident goes up higher, but because we got rid of the toll booths,
Yeah,
it's incredible.
really is. We have nothing in human resources. Next, we have IT. Mark.
We've had ongoing and intermittent issues between Mid-Hudson between gantries 4 and 5 with network connectivity loss. We've had a vendor out there numerous times to try and troubleshoot and address it. And it's determined that there's a issue about 3/4 away along the conduit on a pretty significant bend in the conduit. So if that would require the whole fiber to be pulled out, which would cause quite an outage window for numerous days. So we determined that the best solution is to replace the entire conduit with a straight run versus the kind of convoluted way the conduit is now. And that allows us to install the conduit, run the new fiber, get the ends terminated without any downtime whatsoever. And so the actual effect is very minimal. This outage also would have affected cameras and LUS devices, so it is significant. It also provides a redundant ring for the toll systems. So the network techs are going to actually do the installation, and it actually coincides with our network switch replacements, which the board approved at an earlier date. So it actually allows us to kind of accomplish a number of projects at the same time. So we're asking to replace 2,000 feet of fiber and conduit at the Mid-Hudson Bridge for an amount not to exceed, that is wrong, $21,694.10, unless I have an earlier version of the memo. And so we're looking for approval from the board for that amount.
Is it correct in the resolution?
It's correct on the resolution.
Okay, just in your notes. All right, do I have a motion to approve and adopt the resolution?
So.
Thank you, Roger. Second, Lanny. I'll call the vote. Maria Bruni.
Aye.
Lanny Gilbert.
Aye.
Alex Berardi.
Aye.
Roger Higgins. Freddie Garcia.
Aye.
And I vote in the affirmative. The resolution is approved and adopted. Nothing in bridge operations, command center, Danielle.
So this item is just for our annual renewal of our membership operations support for Transcom. Our annual contribution increased 9% from last year, which was 83,905. This year it's 91,465. The cost is increased because Transcom had higher operational costs, and they also lost a member, Delaware Valley Regional Planning Commission. So the remaining members are now responsible for that extra share. In this invoice, we've also included our costs for the cloud-based data fusion engine replacement, which is in phase 3. And our costs for that are $20,087.04. For a total invoice of $111,552.04. So we are asking for approval to pay this invoice.
Was everyone assessed a 9% increase?
I think, you know, what, I know.
Yes, for the smaller agencies, higher for the.
Higher for the larger? Yeah. Okay. We're one of the smaller.
Yeah.
Okay.
The
You're on the
DOT,
board, right?
Yeah, the DOT
Yeah,
are the largest. for the-
Yeah. For New Jersey.
New Jersey, New York, and New York City.
Got it. Okay. All right. Any questions, comments from the board? Motion to approve? Thank you, Roger. Second?
Second.
Thank you, Lanny. Maria Bruni?
Aye.
Lanny Gilbert?
Aye.
Alex Berardi?
Aye.
Roger Higgins?
Aye.
Freddie Garcia?
Aye.
And I vote in the affirmative. The resolution is approved and adopted. Jeff, electronic tolling and toll audit.
Okay, so, through our, MOU with the North Bay Freeway Authority, every quarter we are assessed, a share for the credit card fees. And we received the Q3 2025, East Pass and Cashes tolling credit card reimbursements from the Thruway, in the amount of $295,564. Approval to pay them.
I will recuse myself from voting. Do I have a motion? Thank you, Alex. Second.
Second.
Thank you, Maria. Maria Bruni.
Aye.
Lanny Gilbert.
Aye.
Alex Berardi. Roger Higgins. Freddie Garcia.
Aye.
And I recuse myself. The resolution is approved and adopted. We have no media and public information items, but we do have two presentations from Danielle. All right,
Thank you.
Danielle. Fourth
Right.
quarter dashboard.
You minimize the policy and share.
What?
They're minimizing the policy and share.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so we have a few things to cover today. We're gonna look at Q4 activity, sidewalk activity now that that dashboard is live and kicking, and a comparison of.
Can you enlarge it?
Sure.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
sorry, from the person who like can't even see looking at it. And then we'll also look at the annual activity for 2025. So Q4 2025 is pretty good as expected and pretty in sync with the rest of the quarters. We had an 8% increase in incidents from 2024 Q4. Most of these incidents are primarily disabled vehicles. We did have 2 suicides this quarter. Both were at Bear Mountain. We had only 4 instances together of suspicious activity and trespassers, which is pretty low. Pedestrians in the roadway, we had 19 incidents, but this has been decreasing steadily with a lot of the measures we've put in place, increased lighting, ushering people onto the sidewalks. It's been pretty successful. And then debris in the roadway has also decreased. Most of it was at Mid Hudson and Newburgh. We did see some at Kingston this quarter, which we usually don't have. But in these cases, we were lucky and had maintenance on property who could come and clear that right away. Our response times for this quarter have actually continued to decrease, which is really great. Our internal times at 6:24. Last year for this quarter, we were at 6:34. So quarter to quarter comparison, we're down 10 seconds. And in Q3 of this year, we were at 6:27. So we do see a steady decrease. The same for law enforcement. Their times have also been going down, and we've really been working with them to try to get their times down. Obviously, they have a lot more extenuating factors outside of our control and their control that they're dealing with. But one of the notable things is the time decrease at Bear Mountain for them. And I think the PEC activity we've had there, the suicide activity we've had there, we've really been working with them to show them how we track response times. what theirs looks like and how to get them there quickly for these types of events. When we look at our incidents by detection, this is nothing remarkable either. We are continuing to see our equipment function affected, which is great. CityLog continues to be one of the first source detectors for vehicle-related incidents, SiteLogix for pedestrian-related incidents, and we have seen an uptick in our reporting from staff, not just from the security staff, but also from maintenance, because we've all been working really closely together to report safety incidents and really have that, you know, it's not their primary responsibility, but when they see something, they say something. So that's been really positive. And then just looking at this we'll take a deeper dive when we look at the annual reviews, but this is pretty much in line with the 24, 23. We see higher activity in Q2 and Q3, mostly because it's nicer weather, people are out more, there's more traffic. So obviously incidents tend to increase. And then again, we'll review the year over year, but you can see it's not too fluctuating. You know, we've remained pretty steady with a little bit of a decrease in Q4 this year from last year. So those are the highlights of Q4. Are there any questions there? Great. So then when we look at sidewalk activity for Q4, we had close to 76,000 people between pedestrians and bicycles on our facilities. Yeah, it's a lot. And we don't really realize it until you look at these numbers, and they're impressive for one quarter. So about 71,000 of that was pedestrians versus 5,000 in bikes. A lot of that activity was at Newburgh, Bear, and Rip. So Kingston, we don't see as much activity because there's not a lot of, you know, life on either side of the bridge. You have
Hey,
to
Al.
Check out the light. I love Kingston. And then-
You have a good, there's on that right side there, there's
Yeah.
a nice place to bike across.
yeah, but once you come back and you're on 209, nobody wants
That's
to be
great.
on.
Yeah.
There is a good gas station.
Yeah.
And then Mid-Hudson, we see a little bit less activity because obviously we have the walkway and we have pedestrian access there. And then just looking at the, you know, times of day and for the quarter, as expected, we see most of the sidewalk activity in the afternoon, early afternoon. Weekends have higher rates of activity. As I said, Newburgh and Mid-Hudson, or I'm sorry, Newburgh, Bear, and Rip see the highest levels. So this has been really helpful for us to kind of get a sense of the activity there. Also, it's been very helpful for us to count when people are on the sidewalks. It gives us a little bit more situational awareness of who's entering them and, you know, things to look out for. I don't know if there's any questions here.
Do you mind clicking on Newburgh?
Sure.
So there's a little bit of night activity there.
Newburgh was one of the first to ask to go 24/7
Yeah.
because they have a lot of commuters who, you know, go to work at Beacon or they use that for the commuter sidewalking. All right, if there's no other questions.
Actually, no, quick question, have we, with the, bus, no, the ferry, have we seen increase in pedestrian or not?
We don't know because we just started getting accurate counts. Like before we implemented these sidewalk detections, and this gives us the individual count. Before it was a group count. So if we all walked on, it would count as one. And the numbers are still kind of in line if we can assume groups, it works, but we don't have enough data in this dashboard to really look at that comparatively yet. But consistently, I think we're still pretty steady. Yep, so use the sidewalk and sorry. Okay, and then just taking a look at 25, kind of comparing it to 24 as well. So like I said before, our response times have decreased, which is good. We keep trying to, you know, get those to continue to decrease further. One thing to note is, in this quarter for incidents, we had more than we did in 24, and we still decreased our time. And we have a lot of incidents that occur simultaneously. So it's very interesting to see how our staff can react to that and where they are when these things are happening all at once. But again, a lot of the things we've been doing operationally and working with our partners have really shown the success in getting the times down. As you look at the response times by bridge in year, you can see that for the most part, times have gone down. Again, I pointed out before at Bear Mountain, law enforcement time as well as ours has really decreased. And part of this is because we know the type of incidents that happen there. And we're really trying to put an emphasis on higher response times. But overall, if there are small increases, such as, Kingston went from 6.5 to 6.6 minutes. Those are things like traffic conditions or, blockages not allowing us to get there in time. So we look at all of those things to try to determine, is there anything we could have done better? And for the most part, it's not within our control. Total incidents by bridge. So you can see Mid-Hudson and Newburgh both increased throughout the years compared to last year, while the smaller bridges had a decrease in total incidents. So that's just interesting. I think a lot of that is
What do you make it up?
I think some of it's like pedestrian activity out there. As we see with the sidewalks, there's a lot of people out. The weather's been nice. People have been driving a lot more. Traffic volumes haven't really drastically changed, but I think when nicer weather comes out, people just drive crazier. And I think the trends we've seen in, yeah.
Throw caution to the wind.
Yeah. So incidents by year, disabled vehicles continues to increase. Accidents also has increased, but pedestrians and roadway and the debris has gone down. And I think, again, that's, efforts we've made to really try and get people to be safe and not walk in the roadway. Debris has increased. Part of the increase in debris, though, is because historically we've had maintenance respond to all of those types of incidents. And now we're starting to dispatch STVs to those types of incidents, to something smaller that's more manageable. So the reporting has just increased a little bit more on that.
Is it quicker to get STVs out instead of maintenance? I bet.
It
If it's
depends,
smaller?
especially like sometimes maintenance isn't on property if it's happening after they've left, and we can get them out to get a small, like a
Whose
small.
idea was that? That's great.
I'll just take credit. When else can Eric, anybody but me?
We'll give it to you.
Security incidents, this is pretty good. We have had a major decrease in trespassing. We're attributing that to more, visibility by our staff. We have more signage up. I think, we've started to do things. I don't know if everybody's heard about the stolen goats here. That was really, we had some goats that maintenance made for for Christmas, for a scavenger hunt for the public, and they were stolen.
They were very pretty.
They were beautiful.
They never came back?
But we did catch the people who stole them, and we pursued appropriate action with law enforcement. So
Good.
stuff like that, we're starting to promote, and people are aware. So I think that's contributed to this decrease.
My defense, I thought they were free.
And we still
have
to go to Florida.
And so suicides and attempts by year, we have seen a decrease from last year from 11 to 10 this year. We did have one attempt. The individual did survive. And while this is a positive, encouraging trend, obviously, one is too many, and we're doing everything we can to try to keep these numbers to go down. Persons experiencing emotional crisis, PECs, those have continued to increase while welfare checks have decreased. But again, we are very proactive in dispatching our staff to anybody that we think may need help. And then, usually law enforcement comes, takes over, and decides if they'll be taken by, a different first responder.
it's pretty impressive that the suicide rate went down, yet the incidents with emotionally disturbed went up.
Yeah, and I think part of that is, you know, the early intervention,
Yeah,
early
yeah, yeah.
detection. So it's very good to see all these efforts are having success. Thank you. And again, total incidents by quarter is kind of what we saw before, but Q2 and Q3 tend to have the higher amount of incidents, again, likely because there's just more activity, nicer weather. But it's, you know, it shows a seasonal pattern. It's pretty aligned each year. As you know, nothing surprising here. We had a small, again, decrease in CCAs detecting because we've had an increase in other employees starting to detect and report. Our equipment is working as expected, which is great. And that was
Nice.
Thank you. Questions? A thought occurred to me, when you were in the presentation, Danielle, and this is probably for Minoshka, Kevin, Eric, and Danielle. We're gonna have a significant number of, laborers on the Bear Mountain Bridge once the contract is signed and work commences. I think you should have a conversation with John Cooney from the Construction Industry Council and Todd DiOrio from the Building Trade to see if when they kick off the project, you want to do some sensitivity training with both the union laborers and the management. So, because you'll have extra eyes and ears on the bridge. And they may be trained, they may not, but I think it merits a conversation to see how you could make them aware and how they might be.
Yeah, great idea.
You don't need to do it to all for anybody that's proposing, but once the contractor is selected. Right. Danielle, once again, thank you for your leadership, and it was great that you had the 3 employees here at the beginning of the meeting. We see what they do, and it's a great tribute to you and your leadership, so thank you. And the law enforcement response time, yep,
A minute down.
yep,
It's
yep,
incredible.
that's a real success story.
They got faster vehicles now.
Yeah.
The electric.
The electric, yep. All right, we have no old business, no new business, and no attorney-client privilege. Our next meeting is scheduled for February 19th. Do I have a motion to adjourn today's meeting?
So moved.
Thank you, Alex. Second by Lanny. All in favor? Aye. All right. Thank you, everybody. Drive safe.
And there's ethics training.
Yeah. I wanted to adjourn the meeting. Yep. Thank you. That's just for board members, right? That's for staff.
There's some other stuff that-
That's fine. That did miss some of the other? Okay.
We'll see if anybody's got it.
Okay. Have fun.
That's it.